I think one of the best parts of my job is to see these students that are leaving high school with an associate's degree, and they're able to go from Wayne High School or from West Desert High School and have a leg up on their college experience because they've already taken these classes. They've already been in these classrooms with other students and taking this curriculum. So the fact that they can get that even from a very small, very remote school is amazing. And for me, it's kind of that feel-good moment when I realize how many of those students are actually taking advantage of that. My name is Charice Carroll, and I am a distance education specialist in technical services at UETN. I started at Snow College as a freshman, running a camera and facilitating what was known as EdNet classes in the evenings. And with that experience, I became a cameraman for one of the classes that they were doing on KUED. Then I transferred up to Weber State and I majored in broadcasting, and I actually was able to get a job there as the campus video producer, which part of the responsibility was to manage the EdNet system. And then as things changed, I was over all of the high schools in the area that they were putting equipment into, and as they expanded the system. And so I got that and then transferred over to UEN when they opened up the distance education job. And so I've been doing that for 25 years now. Distance education can be defined a couple of different ways in Utah. There's online education, which I don't really have a lot of hands-on with that, but there's also the IVC system, which stands for Interactive Video Conferencing. And we have a whole network of about 1,300 sites statewide that are hardened classrooms that have equipment in them that are able to deliver or receive classes. That's the one that our team manages. And we help to make sure that they get all the equipment that they need. Distance education also can be delivered using Zoom or WebEx. So the teacher's in one location, but the students are spread out around the state even. A lot of schools went to that over the pandemic, and they've started to scale back a little bit, but interestingly enough, a lot of schools have kind of kept some of that hybrid sort of thing. So they have distance education days where they'll still have all the students go remote and the teachers will teach from a location. One of the cool things about the IVC system is it kind of levels the playing field for places that are very rural. If you look at, say, San Juan School District or Wayne School District that are very isolated in a lot of ways, they don't have access to the same kind of higher ed institutions and programs that a school in Salt Lake would. And so the IVC kind of bridges that gap and allows for classes to be taken to those schools. The teacher can still be teaching from a higher ed campus, but the students are in their own high school taking those classes, concurrent enrollment, so they're gaining all of the credits that they would if they were taking classes at a higher ed institution. The biggest benefit that we get is that they can take classes that they otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to. There's a lot of really bright people in really rural areas that wouldn't necessarily be able to excel and get a lot of the credits that they could otherwise. There's also a lot of community members that don't want to leave the community, but they want to further their education. And so we're able to take classes in there from the various institutions, and they can work on degree programs and stay in the communities where they want to live. One of the things that I really appreciated about being able to work at UETN is the flexibility. I was a single mom for about 8 years when my kids were in very critical ages, and that allowed me to have some flexibility. So I was still there when they had a school program. I was still able to be there when they had a big project that needed to be done or something like that. And the ability for me to schedule my time to be there and to adjust was phenomenal for me. I don't know if I would have ever been able to do what I was able to do at the time, just because there were so many demands on my time. We now have a blended family. I've been remarried for 8 years, and he brought one daughter in, so I have 4 and then a bonus daughter. And so we have 5 children, and we have 6 grandchildren and 1 on the way at the end of the month. So we're gonna have a real house full. We have 2 grandsons, and then the other 5 are girls. So we have a plethora of girls around, so it's kind of fun. And we meet together fairly regularly because they all live within an hour of our house, and it's crazy and it's loud and it is a lot of fun. Yeah, outside of work, I spend a lot of time with my family, but I also have to have a creative outlet, and so that's where I bring in drawing, and I've started watercoloring. I do a lot of reading, and I also do a little crocheting because I just don't like to sit still. Our family does a lot of sports. I have a couple of teams that we really follow. We have season tickets to the Red Rocks Gymnastics, and we're big Red Sox fans. And so we do a lot of baseball, and we do a lot of family activities where we go to Bees games and that kind of stuff. We have a dog named Finn. He's 3 years old, and he loves to chase a ball, so we go out and throw the ball with him. If we don't, he gets depressed and looks at us all sad. So we have to make sure we go out and get exercise with him, so that's a lot of fun too. I'm a little bit of a closet nerd in that I really like Harry Potter. I'm kind of like some of the sci-fi stuff. I don't read a lot of sci-fi, but I do a lot of like movies and that kind of thing. I actually even have my own wand from Harry Potter, so it's that deep. Yeah, in fact, the stand that my wand is on, my son printed on his 3D printer, so it runs in the family. We do a lot of traveling. Travel is probably my #1 fun thing to do, and I just love to go different places. We've gone to Disneyland a couple of times, and we just actually last month went to Disney World for a few days, and so that was our first time going to Disney World. So that was kind of a unique experience too. The biggest thing that has changed about my work with UETN is the technology. Technology changes all the time. When I first started, we had large studio cameras at each location, and now we can use webcams and still do much of the same stuff. So as far as that, it's just evolved and it's constantly changing. And right now we're in another kind of a transitionary period, going from hardened classrooms to desktop systems. And so it's always evolving. And I think that's one of the things I really like about it. The services that we provide have really not changed. Students are still looking to be able to take courses where they are and to take advantage of those opportunities, and helping to match those up is still a big part of my job.